What? Good YouTube. Probably not these megatons, but what else is new around here? And welcome to the house. I've been asked about this topic a good degree, and now I have seen that people are heavy speculating around 100 secret rares within the set. So we're going to go off of that speculation, but it is still speculation to this point. I wanted more concrete numbers than rumors to talk about it, but it seems like people are very sure of themselves on that number. So we are going off of that basis. You will be pulling 3 quarter-century secret rares per 10, and if this math actually lines up, that means the reprints are harder to pull out of the product, not just per case, but per dollar than the OG products, and that's a gross, terrible place for megatons and reprint products to be in. But John, there's quarter-century secret rare Blue Eyes and Dark Magician Girl. Yeah, Blue Eyes is more relevant with the structure deck coming out, but there's somewhat of a fatigue on going after Blue Eyes cards that led them to go down until we got the new playable Blue Eyes cards, right, that are going to be coming. Dark Magician Girl, people still go crazy over. There's a collectible aspect to these 10s that are trying to prop them up that hit the collectors, but a good product has to also go for the players, and if we're looking at 3 quarter-century secret rares per 10, that means 36 per 12 of these in a case. Now, cases are cheaper than a typical product, right? It's about 3 of these cases that equal a core set booster box release of 12 boxes. So 36 10s more so equal 12 booster boxes. Let's go off of that. So if the set list is 100 secret rares, we're going to divide by that number pulled per case and see it's going to take 2.77 repeating cases, almost 3, in order to pull one of each secret. So if we're looking for a playset of secret rares, oh boy howdy, we're going to go ahead and multiply by 3 to get the entire playset, and that's 8.33 repeating, almost 9 cases. So if we're talking about just 2 cases of the average booster boxes, there is RNG involved, but you would be looking at 4.8 of each secret over a playset already, and that would be at the 6 mark here. So it is indeed more costly per card to dig in a megaton than the OGs. That's just not what the community or player base is going to buy into, most likely, because they've been waking up to discussions on products and actually looking at what is it worth. Is this product worth it? That is a much more common question these days. And when you look at the X flagship, I'm going to call it the X flagship of the actual Yu-Gi-Oh product line, the 25th anniversary 10s have flopped hard. They're rebounding a little right now, and by rebounding, almost $12 a 10. Oh boy, when the MSRP is 22, and we see it's under 130 here for the 2022 10s, over here around 120, and even some at 110 for the 2021 10s. This would mark the 4th year in a row the 10s flop, if they do flop, and 2022 had really good cards selected out and hand-picked, but the problem was they were short printed. It isn't that, oh, Rarity Collection came and murdered any potential. This had its time to run. It had its cycle, and it failed to do the job because it was so terrible with its short printing. And with this, even if there aren't short prints, which the last 2 years have infected the 10s, well, if there are shorts among this already terrible ratio, yeah, the community's not going to be happy with it. You know, a simple product here that they released recently? Retro Pack. Almost nothing relevant. A lot of players saying there's nothing in here for me, yet it's selling off shelves and going crazy. You know why? They upped the amount of hollows. It just feels good to open. The only relevant thing here is Blue Eyes for that new structure deck, yet when we're going through this list, it's like, cool, old card layout with new copyright, and it feels good to open. That's about all it takes. We're very easy to please, but it doesn't feel good to open any of these 10s, and I'm gonna guess it's not gonna feel too good to open these 10s either. And in fact, the quarter-century secret rares, that propped up rarity, it's going to be individually easier to get these mathematically than the prismatic secret rares inside, which means it won't not be all that hard for collectors to end up getting most of these. People will probably juice the Blue Eyes, especially with the new support. Dark Magician Girl ends up there, but the rest of them, I'm not seeing a ton of value there, and that's the case for these 10s as well. These promos, which was one promo per 10, none of them are doing too hot at this point. They all had promising futures, and they all kind of fell out as this rarity actually tired itself out to some degree. By the way, if you are hunting Retro Pack, I went to Barnes & Noble, and there were just a ton of them. So they also have like promotions where you can get gift cards if you sign up for their thing for free, and then they have another one where you can pay for and get some % off. Not going to discuss all of those, just the fact that it's $18 over there instead of being juiced by resellers or GameStop, because GameStop's priced up to $25 per, and it's sold out at all my Walmarts. I've heard rumors of restocking at some Walmarts, none of mine here in Texas, and also sold out at shelves on Targets as far as I'm aware. This was pretty nice to find, and I'll be ripping open a few on stream tonight. Now, when it comes down to successful 10s, this one had an exclusive Chase and Dragoon, but it took a ban list warping it to help Dragoon out for these to sell. And the last good one had a insanely relevant promo pack with Kazuki Takahashi art, relevant meta ones like Nibiru and Shifter even aged well, Dark Ruler no more. This was a really good 10, and you can see, despite them lacking relevance at this point, they sold out to where they're rare, still revered, and people want them once in a while and actually spend their money on it today, even though the pulls aren't worth it. That's how sealed really should go. But when it comes down to all of these 10s, you can collect and stack them. They're not doing good. They just aren't, and I have a feeling, as much as I want to like this 10, that the ratios aren't going to be there if the case is 100 secret rares within that set. We still have to wait to confirm those numbers, but it's seeming like a lot of people are very certain of that. Evenly matched quarter century secret rare. Get to the cards instead of the product, even though the cards will be coming out of the product. Evenly matched quarter century secret rare spiking again towards 50 some odd dollars and quickly 60 from there. It's the answer to a lot of people's problems in the format. I'd like to go from main phase to battle phase, but you haven't played any. Oh, it's that card. And you have plenty of easy access versions of this card, but the highest rarity, it's doing well for itself. So quarter century secret rares are still bought in some capacity, especially when tied into the metagame. Fiend Smith Engraver is still under that triple-digit dollar mark and calming down post-ban list hype. This I did not expect. I thought it might still be trailing up as we head towards more support for the archetype and engine, but yeah, it is actually still sitting pretty under triple digits. Let's see if it gets there on the second page. Almost. It's really flirting with it on the second page, but not quite there. Fiendsmith Requiem quarter century secret rare also is seeing a bit of a buy or spike in price right now because it has one page besides this listing on the second page. So be aware, super low in quantity and starting to bump up as people look around that archetype. Mermail Abystius and Mermail Abyss-Gaios, they're not for past formats, they're for Mermail hype that we've covered multiple times before. They're going to be getting new support, and the first edition has hit absolute nosebleeds, and there are also past format implications. So this might be a nice little double dip for some people in terms of, well, even if it flops, well, there are going to be people that want max rarity Mermail anyways, and this has gotten ridiculous. Lowest near mint at 125, and Abyss-Gaios first edition towards $100. Now the sales are going to be a bit under that, but they are still not laughable, towards $80 for that last one. It's actually got its triple down buyout, and it's pretty good. Dragon Master Magia, speaking of buyouts, this is continuing to sell at the high 800s, and it's just wild. See this? 880, 880. Here's a near mint first at 500 out of nowhere. Another 800, 850, 890, 875, 900. So it's really trying to solidify itself recently above that $700 mark and pushing towards 900. The lowest listings are all at the 890 mark. I truly do hope Konami reprints this card, but I have a feeling they were thinking of holding it off for like the 30th or something crazy, whereas you do have that Blue Eye support coming for us. I hope it's in Bonanza. Konami patting themselves like they're the hero when it should have been the first time around available. But yeah, this is what happens when you quarter century secret rare lock a card, and it is wild when it ties into Blue Eyes. For past formats, Bujin Yamato Ultimate Rare is for hat format, as I'm understanding is why people are buying it. Yes, there's multiple formats, but it's around $50 after its buyout, and you can see people bought it out through up to 35 and plenty at 25s. Also, Fire Fist Bear going up here, likely for the same format. First edition sold at 40, and if you're looking for first ed, it's around there, 40s. And then I was looking at Blackwing Armed Wing for Edison. First edition, lowest listings are around $69. It's just getting crazy out here for max rarity for popular past formats. Hat is physically taking off. Again, in Texas, I saw over 30 people play. I've had people having conversations that Hat tried to have a push before, but a lot of past formats did, right? Like Pack and Plant or MBT and Reaper format. Like, it does take a generalized interest to go from playing online and playing in an online tournament to physically buying and having a base that's actively there playing it and firing off side events at YCSs, and Hat is achieving that, but Edison is definitely on that next level versus it. Let me know what you think about all these past format buyouts. Do you think they're going to stick the landing and Hat also take off alongside Edison? I'd love to hear your thoughts, and also let me know about the 10s. Do you think I'm wrong? Because I really wanted to like these 10s. I really wanted them to be a success, but I wanted to wait for the numbers. The numbers are telling me this is another failure year, most likely, unless this collectible side really does push it. And I just have a feeling these two on the front aren't enough, and the altar arts aren't enough, and the player base has been really left behind in terms of opening up what will likely once again be an over-ordered product, despite 3 years of failures in a row.